That there are some workplaces that are more flexible than others. Obviously, there are some folks that can work from home. That might work in this scenario. There are lots of people like us, you can't work from home. So what do you do in that situation?
It really depends on the workplace. There's potentially access to vacation days in some situations. We could have remote work arrangements in others. But if we're talking about a workplace that has to have people at work, the obligations don't extend to requiring these companies to shut down their entire environment because people can't come in for the day. So if we're talking about a small workplace where there's 2 or 3 staff, and these 2 or 3 staff at the same time have said, hey, listen, I cannot come in today, the employer would be within their rights to insist that these individuals come to work in a situation that would allow the business to operate. Otherwise, it could be deemed undue hardship, and an employer doesn't have to accommodate people if it would prejudice their business to that extent.
So can't a company say, look, we understand this is difficult, but you are getting a bit of a heads up about this. Parents have probably known about this for a week or two beforehand, and the government's also offering a bit of a subsidy.
Yeah, so that subsidy may help because people could put their children in childcare, and I think the solution that individuals, parents, and companies have to find is one that's appropriate for the workplace. I would say this. Human rights obligations and employment standards obligations in Canada and Ontario, for the most part, they're designed to protect people from anti-discrimination and from unfair treatment. There is naturally some element of disruption that's going to cause for businesses. And you know what? That's just the way it is in Ontario. It's the way it is in Canada. For the most part, these laws are designed to protect individuals from unfair treatment.
So you're getting these phone calls. Are people actually enlisting your help? Or how do you suggest, if you're dealing with a workplace that maybe isn't being as understating as you'd like them to be, how do you suggest people deal with that?
A lot of these organizations that are giving people trouble with dealing with their child care obligations today are probably unaware, just ignorant of what the laws require. They just can't get their head around the idea that someone may have to show up late because they've got to take their children somewhere. So the first step would be enlightening them. So what individuals can probably do is say, hey, listen, have you looked at this website? The Ministry of Labour has some information online. The Ontario Human Rights Tribunal publishes information online. Take a look at that, and maybe you should understand that we do have some rights where we can try to mutually come to a solution here. If employers are disciplining or in some cases threatening termination against individuals if they can't show up for the day because they have to take care of their children, that could very well lead to a human rights complaint, and they should probably talk to a lawyer about filing one.
Okay, lots of great information. Thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.